ball, RJ.
A lot of guys use that Dallas regional opening to put some real live numbers on tape. It's on the record. I really enjoy it for that reason because you get laser time 40s, you get laser time shuttles, you get these numbers that coaches can see that are raw that you might have been missed, right? And now we're taking into account other things which I love, like what did you run in the 100 and the 400 in the open because those are laser times. But a guy who decided not to compete in the measurables because he didn't have to. He's got like 30 Power 5 offers. Guy that most folks who follow recruiting in Oklahoma know, Seth McGowan, right? You wrote a post about this on OUinsider.com. For our VIP subscribers, you probably already read it. You already know what's in there. But of what we know, right? Yeah. Seth McGowan in Oklahoma been talking for quite some time, and it's been going well.
Dream school for that kid. He grew up a huge OU fan. His exact quote to me twice at the Houston opening and at the over the phone last night was, look, and previous other times as well, was my family is crazy OU fans. So he grew up in a house that was Boomer Sooner all the way, but he had all these offers. He was doing himself an injustice if he didn't go look around and at least take visits, and that's what he's done. He was at Georgia last weekend, and it's down to OU and Georgia, and we should know the answer to all of that in the next, I would say, 5 to 7 days, maybe even sooner. But it's whenever he has a certain way he wants to announce, whenever all that gets ironed out, that's when he'll announce it, and we'll know where he's going to go.
So thinking about that,
and he's a 5-star guy. That's where
he could end up there.
Yep,
he could end up there. Kid out of Mesquite, Poteet, absolutely the kind of dude that was going to put his foot in the ground and get north and south in a hurry. Does not have the long speed that, say, a guy like Chris Tyree might have, or even a guy like Joe Mixon might have. But if you're talking about a first, second, I need third and fourth.
He's
third,
high 4.5 guy,
right?
Low 4.6.
But it's not. I said that the comp for me of people that
Rodney.
You'll know. You say Rodney.
You say Samaje probably, right?
I say Samaje.
Yeah, I think he's a mix.
He would have to be because nobody's as big as Samaje Perine. But I feel like Rodney.
I'm with you on that.
Rodney can still run away from you, and I've seen enough tape to see Seth McGowan get caught from behind. Right? Now, maybe that's something you can change a bit with his gait.
Freshman Samaje could run by people, not sophomore and junior Samaje.
Well, and that's kind of the thing. Seth McGowan's not going to get any smaller.
That's true.
Right? That's the other part of this. Like, he's already pushing 210, and Rodney was playing at like 219, 220. I mean, he was basically built like Adrian Peterson is built today. Also was able to keep his speed.
He's a freak.
But that's the thing, right? So now you're talking about Seth McGowan being possibly in the boat with Jason McClellan, and you have two quote-unquote power backs, right?
Yeah.
The way I come at this.
But they both can, but don't, and I did interrupt, but I'm not trying to interrupt here. Don't get it misconstrued, people, that neither one of those dudes can line up in the slot and go because their hands are good.
Okay, so like I understand that, and that's a great point to point out. But if I had an opportunity to go get a guy that can absolutely bust down in the 4.4s and knows how to run between the tackles, would I want to go get another guy to complement Jason McClellan, or would I want to get two power backs in the same class? And we're still operating under the assumption that Oklahoma's looking to take two running backs and not three. Otherwise, that conversation kind of gets
three. Yeah.
Well. Stranger things have happened.
Unless it's
we're plotting and we're trotting out a hypothetical.
Yeah, you would have to take Milton and Tyree if they want to, but outside of that, no, you're not going to take.
Well, I mean, if Milton and Tyree came to your door,
you would have to take them. Like,
right?
You'd be stupid not to.
Well, and that's the point with those two. But I am saying that if you found a dude that on tape is like a Braden Willis, just a guy that you love, and you don't understand why nobody else has given this kid a high major offer that has absolute long speed, I gotta believe you would want to have that kind of guy in your class if at all possible. So just to say that I know that there's somebody out there that thinks that, hey, we got a guy like Jace McClellan. Why do we need a guy who's more or less the same kind of runner in the same class? And you would say
Joe Mixon, Samaje Perine.
Right.
Trey Sermon, Rodney Anderson. It's worked. It works for Oklahoma.
Right.
And that's why they keep doing it.
So moving away from those guys, I wrote a piece earlier today about 3 quarterback prospects that I think would fit evals for what Lincoln Riley looks for in a quarterback.
Yep.
And have the championship pedigree, let's call it that, the guys that play for state titles. And 3 dudes came to the top of the list. All 3 are classified as dual threat quarterbacks according to 247 composite. One of those guys is Brock Purdy's brother. Brock Purdy is the starting quarterback at Iowa State. Chuba Purdy, who's an all-namer already, 6'2", 196, can absolutely run away from you, makes plays.
We have 2 Chubas
in the Big 12 and in the Sooner State, right? The other guy was Chandler Morris, who is the son of Chad Morris. So you got to figure that guy's going to go to Arkansas one way or another. But does Lincoln Riley not have moxie in that he offered Chad Morris's kid? And the reason he did that is you pass for over 4,000 yards. You have 66 touchdowns in a season. You lead Highland Park to a 3rd straight state title. Yeah, I'm probably going to give you a hard look, give you an offer.
Right.
But the guy that it still baffles my mind that he hasn't gone to take a look at is Haynes King out of Longview, Texas. Stupid fast. Was one of the fastest guys at the opening regional. Dropped 4.5 in the 40. Dropped 4.08 in the shuttle. 26-1 as a starter, 16-0 last year. 3,000-yard passer. Average 8.6 yards per rush. What am I missing here?
You're not missing anything.
Okay.
So he has a lot of really good offers. He is a guy that, look, Oklahoma's been by to see him numerous times. I mean, Haynes is – I watched him at the opening, and I watched him run a 4.5, and I watched him have some stupid Powerball number, and I watched his broad jump be stupid. I watched everything about this kid put up ridiculous numbers, and I don't know why OU hasn't offered, but like we talked on the phone, there's something – OU not going after anybody, there's something we don't know. There's something we all do not know that is going on because they have to have another quarterback, and they know that, but they must feel good about something. And I'm not talking about the guys that are going to be on campus. I'm not talking about Spencer Rattler. I'm not talking about Tanner Mordecai. I'm saying that there's something going on, maybe in the 2020 class that we don't know about, maybe a grad transfer, though I don't know that that's going to happen again. Maybe, and like I posed that to you.
Well, let's pivot.
The Jalen Hurts thing I posed to you last night, which is so outlandish. But it could happen because Jalen Hurts being at Oklahoma is outlandish.
Let's pivot that. I put out a poll on the Twitters.
Okay.
Follow me on the Twitters at RJ_Young. Follow my man Brandon at BrandonDrum247.
Pretty simple.
But I asked the Twitters, all 14,000 of y'all, do you think that Oklahoma needs a 2020 quarterback in the class? To which,
did they say no?
Like more than 50%.
What?
Yeah, and I was like, wait a second. Okay,
I gotta understand depth.
I look. Okay, we're not going to. I love dunking on people. You know I'm here to dunk on people. You know that's what I do. But
the fans that did that. What if?
No. Let me trot this out because I had them talk to me.
Okay.
I had them talk to me. Okay. One is Spencer Rattler is a can't miss prospect, and one, nobody wants to follow him, and two,
made of armor.
And two, that dude is just gonna have the reins in 2020. To which I also say Rhett Bomar was a can't-miss prospect. He was the number 4 recruit, I believe, in Adrian Peterson's 2004 class.
In the same class. They're number 1 and number 2 player in the country.
Right. So there's that. So that's a wash. The other one that's trotted out to me is the transfer portal, because Lincoln Riley's last 3 quarterbacks, and yes, I'm counting Jalen Hurts as a starting quarterback at Oklahoma 2019 because, well, I'm not an idiot. So, you had Kyler Murray, you had Baker Mayfield, you had Jalen Hurts, transfers. So, proven that Lincoln just go get a transfer quarterback. Without people forgetting that the transfer portal works both ways, and they're just as likely to leave as they are to stay. Tanner Mordecai, Spencer Rattler, they could go, right? So now you basically have 3 scholarship quarterbacks when you really want 4. Always. You always want 4. And the last thing that they trot out to me is, it's Lincoln Riley, which is not really an answer. But I think that is to the point of them saying, he'll turn a running back into a quarterback if he has to, and that guy will be a Heisman candidate because Lincoln Riley's some sort of quarterback whisperer. I wonder sometimes, and yes, I'm doing that thing, about who checks the math of Lincoln Riley, because we know about one offer that's out there that's uncommitted. Chandler Morris. Chad Morris's kid. Can't really depend on that.
Right.
We know that the dude that he wanted is Bryce Young. He's been committed to USC for nearly a year. Well, it's still there. It's there on paper, so we got to honor it. Right? I mean, he sat there through a 5-7 season in offensive staff turmoil. Okay, so we're gonna do that. Okay? Now, let's leave your Jalen Hurts take aside for a second.
Yeah, my outlandish one.
Let's leave
it
that.
is outlandish.
But let's
and I don't believe it. But
let's leave that aside.
Still could happen.
What is Lincoln gonna do? Like, that's the question that I want answered. Because I would figure that you would want to pursue somebody that you know you can lock up by August, because you still don't have a quote unquote leader in the class. You have some guys that feel like they could be those guys. Ryan Watts, for instance.
Yeah.
But quarterbacks are used to doing that, and that was one of the reasons I think this 2019 class came together in the way that it did, is because Spencer was way out in front.
Yeah, he's ridiculous.
Right. So, what are we waiting on? Like, what are we doing?
Like I said, we had that conversation last night.
Right, we did, at length.
And it was one of those deals where I talked to some people and was told, when it happens, you'll understand why OU isn't fretting over all this. And my head is just spinning because I don't know what they meant, but the person that I mean, they know what they're talking about. So
yeah, you told me not to fret over the defensive coordinator start 2018 season either.
I did?
No, not you. They.
Oh, I was
they.
like,
they.
Hey.
They. No, they.
I've been questioning that.
No, they.